shit. Roach clips here to give you real shit. Roach clips here to give you real tips. Roach clips here to talk about real shit. About life that they don't wanna hit. Roach clips here to talk about real shit. Dusty Big. Roach clips here to give you real tips. Roach clips here to talk about real shit. About life that they don't wanna hit. They don't wanna hit. Dope shit with the Roach clips.
Yo, this is Roach Clips, and we're back for Season 1, Episode 7. We're talking today about Doomsday. We told y'all last episode we were going to talk about it. We said, fuck it, why not talk about it here today? So, it's your boy Dusty B.
This is JT. To my left, Mikey Slims. How we doing? To my left,
Clay Vaughn, you done know.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Buddha.
So, as usual, I'll figure, we'll start as I usually do with the fact that we're going to define the word Doomsday so we know exactly what we're talking about. And the definition of Doomsday is the last day of the world's existence. So, typically in Christian belief, you have the day of the last judgment as one example, or a time or event of crisis or great danger, So it could even be just a cataclysmic event, like a comet's coming down to hit us type deal, or, starvation, famine,
Now, are we talking the end of the human race or the end of
existence.
the world going on right now?
Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about. When you think of Doomsday, maybe that'll be our first question then, Slims. When it comes to Doomsday, what typically comes to mind? Is it the end of days? Is it the cataclysmic apocalypse, you read about in, the Revelations in the Bible and stuff? Or is it more realistic, or I shouldn't say realistic, but more science-based, where a comet comes down and hits the planet and it's going to be over just like that? I guess we'll start with Jim.
See, when I think of Doomsday, I think it's more than just deeper of the end of human life and creation. Doomsday is when Earth is vaporized. We are no here. The Earth is swallowed by our sun in the supernova. Whenever that happens, eons or millions or billions, trillions of years from now, whatever it is. So, but if you want to talk about the Doomsday as far as humanitarily, I mean, it's its own separate category. I don't know how else to put it for that. You know what I'm saying? Slims, how about you there, Buckwheat?
For Doomsday in a humanitarian's kind of viewpoint, I don't know. What always comes to mind is zombies and shit.
They play too much Call of Duty.
Definitely.
No, but he's absolutely right. That's a Doomsday scenario type situation,
I mean, I think it'll be a cool standpoint because we're always watching Walking Dead and shit, and we have some views on how other people can survive. And I don't know. What about you?
My perception of Doomsday, I feel I don't know. First thing off instant when I think about it is just the floor crumbling and sorry about that. The floor just crumbling and kind of falling down. Cause I've had dreams about it before, but my dreams of Doomsday is kind of how I have dreams when I know I'm about to face a great change. So I'll be doing something that I'll kind of see a change in, and then it'll be a Doomsday effect, some type of Doomsday device will be going off. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Congratulations.
I don't know.
What am I being congratulated for, Jimbo?
I have no idea. Something just popped up on my fucking thingy when I was searching.
Congratulating me on my bad dreams.
Stop watching porn, son.
Getting all them viruses.
Yeah.
Real shit though, bro.
Yeah.
But
Facebook knew
Jimmy's phone just had a Doomsday.
No.
Yo, for real.
But yeah, that's pretty much short and sweet. I know people say, my family, strong Christian believers, they say, oh, Jesus will come back and that's how you know it's the last day or whatever. But I don't know. It's will I ever see that? I don't know. It's just, something to believe in, I guess. But I'm kind of 50-50 on it. How about you, though? You know?
Doomsday to me. My girl's late. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just
You
joking.
heard that?
That is hilarious.
Nah, Doomsday to me, man. I mean, it's the end of normalcy. It's like, you know, whatever was up to the status quo is no longer the status quo. It's just a giant change, man. I think that's what it is, you know. So that's how I look at it.
Like at this point, a doomsday for the normal world would be all technology ceasing to work. That you could consider that being a doomsday effect.
Word.
It could definitely have that effect, but for me, I would have to say, for me, Doomsday is simply put, it's the fall of, you know, civilization, you know? It's when mankind versus mankind type deal happens and everybody's trying to kill each other and we can't come together to form some kind of government or some kind of following or, like Steve said, normalcy, you know? So, I don't know, like, Doomsday for me, I don't think it's going to be an end-all be-all like the Bible says and stuff. I think it's going to be more like virus-related or war-related or something like that, you know?
Word. I mean, they've been preaching about that forever.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, we just recently, even for everybody who's a millennial, everybody who's even a millennial can remember the Y2K, you know, which was going to be a doomsday prediction. 2012 even happened, on the Mayan calendar, yep. So, obviously one of the most famous, you know, doomsday predictions comes from, like, Nostradamus. He always makes a lot of predictions from a book he published in 1955. It contained 942, I always mispronounce this word, quatrains?
Yes.
Quatrains.
Yeah, 942 quatrains that allegedly predict famous future events. You know, they say when they translate them, they were very poorly translated and not to buy too much stock into them and stuff like that. But there are some that they say you could argue for that he was dead on and hit the nail on the head. In reality, most Nostradamus prophecies are purposely translated and vaguely worded enough to encourage tons of speculation, actually. It's been quoted. Actually, and then with the most recent doomsday predictions is going to be with a guy in 2020 predicting the American psychic claims that Armageddon, Gene Dixon is the person's name, claimed that Armageddon would take place in 2020 and Jesus would return to defeat the unholy trinity of the Antichrist, Satan, and the false prophet between 2020 and 2037. She had also previously predicted the world would end on February 4th, 1962, however.
That's my birthday. What the hell?
So that's so funny.
Yeah, found the Antichrist.
Oh, shit.
So for the most part, all of us grew up in like a Christian background, right?
Word.
For the most part, you know.
Yeah.
So I figure, you know, we go around, we give our take on what, you know, you believe the end of days were, if it were to be more of a belief system type deal.
All right.
Less science, more religion, or spiritual, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to put my beliefs that, say, I was raised, you know, believing, essentially it's going to be like a war of, you know, the devil and all that shit versus the angels and all like that, and I feel like that battle's going to spill onto the earth, destroying all life that's left on earth as it is. In that case, you want to go get biblical with it.
Well, bear in mind, a lot of religions have actually doomsdays, like we have Ragnarok.
Yeah, exactly. The same. Well, that's why, you know, they're all. That's why another thing is too. Like with my religious belief, I feel like they're all the religions are connected. So, you know, all the different doomsday scenarios, stuff like that. It's the same recipe, just different name for the food, for the dish.
Word. Absolutely.
Bam. Food reference. How about you, there, Slim Slam?
I agree. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't really think anything else. I think the same thing would possibly happen if it did happen, you know. But then again, I'm not really a big religious guy anymore, so I wouldn't really believe that would happen. I would have to see it to believe it. What about you?
honestly, like I think about it and I don't know, because my belief in that has always been that like if the end of man were to come, it would be because we did it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but you know, according to the Bible, when Noah had the ark and you know the great flood happened and killed everybody and everything, you know, other than who was on the ark, and then the water then you know settled down. That was when Noah saw the first rainbow, and the rainbow is supposed to symbolize, you know, God saying that He would never kill, you know, life on earth again, so to speak. So I feel like if apocalypse is to come in a religious way and Jesus is to for some reason come about or whatever, I believe it's because we destroyed ourselves and He will show up and be like, you did this type deal, and then whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever happens. That's just my opinion on it.
Okay. For me, I would say the devil comes in many forms. So it doesn't literally have to be an army of demons and hellspawn, you know, rising from the ground. I mean, it's just evil in the hearts of man. And again, we had a slight conversation on Stephen Hawkins, kind of like what our beliefs are, and you just gotta hope that I guess the love that we have for ourselves and for each other is powerful enough to defeat that evil within the heart of man. So it's kind of like both ways. Like, yes, God said He'll never destroy man, but He never said that He wouldn't not help us against ourselves. So.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
For me, and the main reason I bring it up is because most predictions are related to Abrahamic religions, in terms when it comes to the idea of doomsdays and things of that nature, the coming of days, the end of days, revelations, etc., as you guys, so eloquently put. So for me, reading the Bible only 3 times in my life, but pretty thoroughly in a studying manner, I'd have to say, I just walk up to Jesus and be like, yo, is this your first time or your second time here, bro? And then go from there, I guess, and make my moves.
He probably gonna hit you with, I've always been there, my son.
Word.
I'd be upset. I'd be tight.
Yo, for real. That's like he basically, you don't need to. That's that Jesus slap right there.
No, that's a fact, though. You're right. You probably would, though. And you know what? I respect it, but I'd be upset. I'd be like, no, but for real, this is your first, second time. I need to know, because, like, if this is the end of days, I need to pack up and get ready.
Yeah.
Word.
But, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about doomsday preppers, ways to prep, and having contingency plans for actual real-time events where you might need to, bug out or bed down or something like that.
Bug out, but don't bug out on Roach clips.
We'll be right back to you after
Show
this.
gave me cancer. Got to use it. Tap.
But first, here's tea for tea time.
What's up, y'all? Railman here, aka Mr. Tea Time. Welcome to Tea Time. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting our guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate you taking a little time out of your day to help us get a little better. Today's topic actually caught me off guard. It's not something we talk about much. It seems like ever since Y2K kind of fell off, nobody really talks a lot about. Oh no, there was that 2012 situation, but nobody really talks about the idea of the world coming to an end. And I think it's because everybody's so caught up in themselves, which is alright, because I think if you're consumed in the idea of something coming to an end, that's like planning for failure. And when you plan to fail, you lost before you started, and you wasted time. You don't get that back. There's these doomsday preppers and all that stuff, these paranoid schizophrenics, I call them, because they really think of every single way to end their life, but don't realize how many days they have to make a difference. You know, they drill it in their kids' heads and their wives and husbands' heads that things are coming to an end, and don't realize that they're missing out on making it real memories or growing a family and all that good stuff. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. And I remember young me would always listen to the pastor who says, no man knows the day or the hour that God will come back and strike his hand upon his green earth, blah, blah, blah. That sounds all good and fun, but one thing I really listened to was the Bible. And not saying that everything was real, but there was a lot of themes within that Bible, and within after each plague or after each sin or huge sin, I guess, there was always some type of cleansing, whether it was fire, water, air, or more death, period. Those are the things we gotta focus on. People don't pay attention to the birds and the cows just falling out of the air, just dying. The fish washing up on sea. The cancer is spreading. Cancer's not even real, it was given to us, but that's a whole other topic. We don't realize that, doomsday is all around us. Each day, the world dies a little bit because you can't get it back. So we've already came to our demise the night before, but just so happens we were able to wake up the next day. So I think we should stop focusing so much on if there is this mystical day that's coming, and wonder when we just get to live our lives. Hopefully we get to die in peace. Doomsday is a way of, it's like snowstorms. It's like a way to keep us shopping to me, Speaking of that, like, if we can't even properly predict the fucking weather, how can we predict when the world's gonna end? Or why should we hold on to our breaths, waiting for the world to end? Live your life. Enjoy your freedoms. Enjoy your children if you have them. And make memories. That's all you have. Because the real doomsday is when, you go to die or you go to curl up and you think like, oh man, I really wish I would have took my son fishing. Or I wish I would have laughed at that movie. Or I wish I would have went to church or got married. That's the real doom. That's the real pitiful thing to think about. There's no reason for us to hold on to something that isn't there. Live your life. Be happy. But more than anything, just listen to us. We got a lot to say. I think it's been a good few episodes and we're only getting better. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the weekend. Take care.
And we're back. We hope you enjoyed time with T for tea time. And we were back to talk to you about Doomsday Preppers. Now, typically when dealing with Doomsday Preppers, there are 3 categories from everything that I've researched. You have your lowest level, which is just enough, your middle level, which is ready for almost anything, and your highest level, see when the dust settles. Like the last one, don't know who came with the first 2, not a fan, but it is what it is. So just enough is your self-explanatory. It's like your people who just want to get by. Now these people, they just want to, get by for like 2-3 days in type of deal if they were, say, snowed in or a tornado came through and they need supplies to get through to the end of the week. You're ready for almost anything. These are the dudes we typically think of when it comes to the preppers and stuff like that. And these are the guys who you see on like the History Channel or the Travel Channel. And these are the ones that are prepping. Like they have balls to the wall food, plants, and stuff like that. And then of course the see when dust settles. Those are the motherfuckers we all dream of.
Lord.
Those are the ones. If you had the Boku bucks, what would you do with it? How would you build your bomb shelter?
I'll buy missiles.
would you go ham type deal. Only 10 to 15 people actually have this ability, you know, and follow through with this. But we'll start with you, Jim. If you were to build your ideal bug out location, what would it be, man?
If I had the money, I would totally buy a missile silo. And just because that shit is secure as a motherfucker. And to think that I can't catch you rappelling down that motherfucker to get in and out of that bitch, I guarantee you I will take you down off that rope before you even reach the bottom if I don't want you in my perimeter. Not for nothing too, I feel like the end category, like the extremist category, those are the people too that you don't see on the History Channel because they don't want people to know. They're more covert.
Covert?
Thank you.
Corbett.
Covert about it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones who they know what they got and they know what they need. So what they need is already calculated, set. They got everything ready to go at a drop of a dime. And I feel like having the missile silo has got everything you need. You have point advantage of everything and anything. Not for nothing too, most people probably don't got the skill to fucking rappel a couple 100 feet down into a fucking missile silo. Everybody got the ability to fall into that motherfucker.
So you're thinking about the defensibility of it.
Exactly.
Or the defensification of it.
Exactly. And not for nothing too, you know they got crazy big blast doors in that motherfucker, so I don't have to worry about flooding too much.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That is good.
That's good. What about you, Slims?
Shit. If I was rich enough, I'd build a whole facility under a mountain. Like a big ass mountain. I'd probably go Mount Everest or some shit, like halfway up, and then like build some big ass blast doors and go in, and then it's like 100 levels.
So you want like
downwards.
Hoth? You want like the Hoth base?
Pretty much.
Pretty dope. It's a good base. I mean, the Empire fucked them over, but fuck it.
They had the AT-ATs though, so
I know they were cheating. Big ass walking robots, fuck them niggas.
What about you, Clay?
Man, if it was me, man, I'd hunker down like in some like I don't know, like shed looking type, you know what I'm saying? Like just something small and secure. Then this way I can see all my perimeters, man. And
Like hide in plain sight kind of thing?
it's not even in plain sight, but just I'm basically like, you remember that base in Halo 2? All the way on the side, like you got red base, blue base.
Mhm.
Like the big map.
Yeah.
One of them bases type shit. I'm
Got
gonna set
you.
turret up top. I'm gonna have
Set.
everything on deck, man. Like traps, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, I get real paranoid. I use that to my advantage, and I just secure all perimeters.
My dude gonna be like Morgan from Walking Dead. Straps just set up barbed wire everywhere.
Hell
Zombies
yeah.
laying up.
Facts.
Claymores everywhere.
Tripwires
Zombie
and
walk
shit.
in and see a head on the fucking stake, let him know.
He'll turn right the fuck
You
around.
came to the wrong place, motherfucker.
How practical are we talking?
No, I said balls
Sky's
to the
the
wall.
limit.
Your dream spot.
Sky Fortress.
You're gonna go
Sky
sky high.
Fortress?
Sky Fortress.
All
Sky
Let's
high.
fucking go.
I was thinking
Tell
that,
the
but then I
Roaches-
thought about what
You're
if
gonna
I
run
had
out
to
of fuel.
leave.
Tell the Roaches.
Alright, I'm talking about like, I don't know, like a B-52, like a bomber.
Joe, you talking just flying in the air, take
flying
off
it,
type
fuck
deal. Like you
What's
mobile.
getting me? If
Okay.
they're flying zombies, I'm just gonna run their ass over with the fucking jet. What you doing to me?
Yeah, but yo, put it this way. Geese take out motherfucking 747 when they go through the fucking motor. What do you think a
Well,
zombie
they're zombie
gonna do?
geese, they getting fucking torn up.
Yeah, so is your motor.
Oh yeah. I'm good at flying. I'm good.
See, you only good at flying after you take some American spirits, though. Let's be real.
God.
Alright. So me being practical, I've put actually a bit of thought into this, and I've read a couple books on it and whatnot. And Max Brooks' Zombie Survival Guide actually is
That's a good one.
Yeah, like I read it for the comedic aspect, obviously, because it's about zombies, how to survive the zombie apocalypse, you know. So, but some of the things you read in are actually pretty practical, you know. and it raved about how versatile an oil rig actually was as a place to bug down. They have all their food there because they're already out in the middle of the ocean by themselves. You're already out in the ocean by yourself, so you don't gotta worry about who's coming through. Your electricity and everything's powered by turbines and stuff like that are self-generated because you're in water and whatnot. Like, you're Gucci.
Except for a fucking hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, water storms are the only thing, but they're made to withstand that. You're not going to have an oil rig in a spot where a storm's going to easily take it out.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'd buy me an old school oil rig.
That's pretty good.
Well, question though. Now, would you go, say, Northern Atlantic, where there's less hurricanes but it's colder? Or would you say go Gulf of Mexico, where it's warmer but more chance of hurricanes?
Bro, if I'm living in an oil rig and I got oil until I'm falling, out of my ears type deal, I don't care about the cold.
Word.
Give me a couple extra blankets.
Just hopefully you got a lot of fire extinguishers. Because that'd be a bitch to get out.
Bro, if I have a fire, I'm just straight up fucked.
Fucked.
What about like water zombies?
Yo, what about zombie sharks, bro?
They gotta climb up that joint first.
Zombie sharks, bro. Them motherfuckers probably fly out the water pretty high.
You going zombie tornado on me now?
Yo, the Sharknado zombie. Halloween edition.
Call us.
Call us.
Yeah, we'll write you a script.
So, obviously, when it comes to preparing for actual disasters and things of that nature, like earthquakes, hurricanes, snows and blizzards. Hey, blizzards. You get my drift.
Yeah.
Um,
See what you did there.
Damn it.
You do it without even trying.
I figured we'd go over like some tips and stuff like that would, help out with those situations. So like power outages. A few gallons of water is what you obviously want to have for any type of situation, whether this be fill up your bathtubs, before when you know it's coming type deal. If you can prep for it a little bit, fill up your bathtubs as best you can. Fill up any gallons of water you have. Several boxes of pasta always help because you can survive off that for a little while with just some water, hot water and whatnot. If you have a gas stove, you can always reignite that through matches and things of that nature. And then, of course, for major disasters and things of that nature, this is more important. You need to know, do you have weapons for home defense and things of that nature? Are you going to have cash and gold in the house to make barter and trade if, say, you have to, in case, the economy collapses or something of that nature? Now, I figured, knowing all of these things, we'll go around the table and we'll talk about, in the current state that we are in, how well do you think you would survive in any of those situations, like with what you have at your disposal right now? So if, say, you were in a tornado, hurricane, or in an actual case for us, snow blizzard. Keep saying snow and blizzard together.
Same thing.
Jim?
So, I mean, right off the bat, like, I always make sure that you keep plenty of lanterns, flashlights, always extra batteries on deck, because, that's always on point. If you have the luxury of having a generator and stuff for your house, that's great, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's something small, some people don't have that. If you're in a situation where you don't have water, or you feel like you're gonna, like, say that you feel like if you lose power, you're not gonna have access to your water and stuff, other than filling up the bathtub, another great way is your furnace, the boiler, essentially, your hot water heater. That entire vessel that holds 40 to 50 gallons of water, at least, most units, right there. Dirty, clean, purified water and everything like that. So you already have access to a bunch of that right there, and you can access it from the bottom just by opening up the spout on the bottom and everything like that if you do need to access water. And then you have your smaller unit at the top if you need hot water, and that's stored in there, and it stays hot for a pretty long time because they're insulated pretty well. So that's always a nice little hint that I learned from old trick from survival expert, actually. Sorry, that was a friend of the family's. But you always need to make sure that no matter what situation, you have a means of making fire and you have a good reliable knife. That's it. Slims, what you think? What you gonna have on deck?
Definitely home protection. if something did happen, water and shit like that, and I mean, I'm trying to think. You pretty much hit everything on the head right there. Like, what else do you really need?
I don't know. I mean, that's a fact. I would agree with everything Jimmy said. I know first thing when I hear if anything's happening, storm, tornado, hurricane, whatever, like I'm going straight to the supermarket, making sure we stocked up on food, stocked up on batteries, everything is secure. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if anything was to be any more catastrophic than that, then obviously make sure I'm well protected. You know, I can defend myself any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Not to get into any too much detail, but you know, yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, no, Jimmy pretty much covered a lot of the great points because we need water to survive. I remember someone told me that if the power does go out, if you have like milk or anything like that can spoil, you put it in the freezer. That way, because it's meant to hold the cold in. So also a radio that takes batteries because you always want to be in the loop of things. Flashlights, candles. That's Jimmy pretty much covered. Yeah, pretty much covered to me. I can't think of anything else at the moment.
If you don't mind jumping back to me, I kind of thought about it, like, because I realized none of us said it, but it actually is really important. Like, I feel like every household should have some type of drill. Sounds corny, but like, to know if anything happens, what are we doing? How are we maneuvering? We're not just running into each other going, oh my god, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you good? All right, let's go. Like, we already know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like drills are definitely important.
And what's really good too is like canned foods and shit.
Yeah,
like
non-perishables. Yeah,
non-perishables, like stuff that doesn't really go bad over a really long period of time.
So me personally, I say it'd be pretty decent for a couple of days, obviously. For an extreme period of time, I think you guys can vouch for me. I usually have a decent amount of food stored away. So I'd be good for about a month type deal. After that, though, I'm probably going out scavenging and whatnot. I'd probably start around the local area and then move my way out.
Squirrels are a great source of local food.
Exactly.
Word.
And that's the other thing with my military background and stuff like that and my veteran skills. You know, it's always good to, have those under my belt, and I can hunt if I have to. Forage. So, and that's other things you can do is you can go and take courses, actually. There's always courses around your local area, if not within the next, like 2 hours or so, if you're really dedicated to it, and you can pick up those skills. You can learn how to build fires. You have your local Boy Scouts and stuff for the younger kids and stuff like that, or the Girl Scouts, So, but it's good to classify yourself and figure out where you stand with the preparing for prepping and stuff like that in case there is an emergency in an actual event. It doesn't always have to be, religious type of deal. It could be in a real world,
Exactly.
So have a plan and know your local.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like if you have any evacuation spots. Typically, like the post office is one.
Community centers, stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're meant to be protected.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, this is something science has proven, and it's just written in fact, supposedly anyway. Always gotta cross-reference things, folks. But, theoretically, the Doomsday will happen in 4 to 5 billion years. If nothing else, this is guaranteed to happen. The sun will run out of hydrogen, and its fusion core is going to essentially blow up. It's going to spread molten material into the air. It's going to puff out into red giants, swelling up and swallowing Mercury, Venus, and Earth, as well as possibly Mars. So pretty much it's just going to wreak havoc on our solar system as we know it. Do you think humans will be in existence still at that point? Like, do you think we're even going to be on Earth?
Damn.
I feel like Earth, at this rate, Earth is gonna die from resources a lot sooner than it, before it, gets crumbled apart. So I feel like by then we definitely have left this rock.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I wanted to bring it up. I'm glad you said it, because it's going to lead me a segue. Recently, there's actually now hotels being possibly put into space.
Space towns?
So, essentially, yeah, like, it's not going to cost much. It's only going to cost $8,000 to go to it. So that being said,
hell yes.
we're already entering space. Doesn't that debunk pretty much every doomsday theory in the any religious context? Because if we're not on Earth, how can doomsday really happen theoretically?
Well, I think there'll still be people on Earth because some people could be in
Yeah,
space.
because realistically, you can't fit all the people on Earth on the moon.
Who says it's just gotta be the moon, though?
True, it could be Mars too.
Mars got a couple moons.
But you have to think bigger. This is billions of years in the future. We could be just.
We could be galaxies away.
We could just be floating energy at that point. Who knows? Like,
Shit.
you know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly my point. Like, if we're already putting hotels, like I'm talking like what you typically do when you walk up and go, "Hi, I would like a room, please." You can now, "Hi, I would like a space shuttle, please." Whoop!
yeah, all I know is if
For $8,000.
if we go into a space hotel, I better be getting some.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yo, I
money.
want bucket list. Top of the list is the what would that be? The 1,000-mile high club.
See,
Yeah,
now,
I was just thinking.
Sex on a rocket ship on
yeah,
the way
we
up.
getting some space rocket head when we get there,
Yo,
and then we gonna fuck by the
Yo,
moon.
imagine
it's
a-
gonna be lit.
yo, imagine a bust in the anti-gravity, dog. You gotta be careful. Yeah.
Nope, because I'm gonna have like a little space on, like a little splash guard. I'll be good. I already thought of this. When he says space, started rolling.
Them sci-fi pornos you used to watch kind of just
Listen,
clicked
don't
in,
you
huh?
dare judge me or shout out what I like. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. No.
So I really like that though.
Nah, but what you were saying, Dustin, like, I think, alright, first of all, for the human race, Earth is always going to be our first home. So if we do go out into space, either there's going to still be people living out on Earth, or we're going to be coming back to it. Now, if something like that were to happen, I mean, I think people would try to, stop the sun from exploding.
How the fuck are you gonna do that?
I
you
mean,
can-
listen, you can find
Yeah,
a way.
you know what? But again, we're constricted to our own knowledge. Again, this is billions of
When
of
that time
years in
comes
the
around,
future.
anything could be possible.
But you know what? I bet you, this is what's gonna happen. Get your tickets here. Get your tickets. Our home's about to get blown the fuck up. There you go. It's gonna be like the next televised thing. I think that's.
Watch our Earth go to shit.
I'm dead serious. Like, you think about it.
Vaporized.
Like, how if we had the ability to watch something that where we originated from get destroyed by this one thing that gave us life, I think a lot of people would want to see that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta take into effect if Earth gets destroyed, on some blown up from the middle or somehow type shit, then that shit's going everywhere. That shit could possibly come back.
Yo, then they did it on Doctor Who.
I was just gonna say, are you about to Doctor Who?
Yeah,
us?
nah, but they were far enough where they could see it, and there's no show ever that will top that. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
You sound fucked up saying that.
No, but that's what
But
humans
that's what
are.
you said, yeah,
That's what
no, they just-
humans are. If
they
we
just-
do not come together at some point, even if we didn't come together, who would not want to see that? As sad as that is, I'm gonna be honest with you, being who I am and loving humanity as much as I do, I'd pay front row to, if I had any money in my world, I could possibly buy me a ticket to the front row to see Earth destroyed.
Even if it wasn't,
I'm gonna do that because that's poetic, that's romantic. I got to see the end of my original origin, my ancestors. Nobody's ever gonna know what this is like.
Yeah.
Walk up to any kid on the street and ask him, has he ever had to rewind a VHS?
Yeah, true.
How do you feel and how does he feel? I guarantee you, it's just now imagine on a grander scale.
Yo, all I
Even if
know.
it- I'm sorry. Even if it wasn't like how Dustin's saying it right now, it's almost like going to a funeral.
I see what you're saying.
Like you kind of have to be there and
Exactly.
see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like
It's
this
sad,
is
but it's
really
beautiful.
happening, you know.
All I know is that when this happens, who or whatever is left, they're all gonna be, for the first time, truly homeless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's what he was saying. That's what that's what's poetic about it. There is no more origin. There is just wherever we set up shop
No,
is
there
now.
is no origin.
Oh, I mean, no,
A new origin.
a new origin. Yeah, wherever we set up
A
shop.
rebirth.
Are you trying to get poetic?
Maybe.
All right.
I'm gonna get my Daniel Austin done. No, I'm just playing.
I feel like eventually it will happen. Though. They definitely make hints about it that it's their intention, like you said, hotels and shit like that. So have to wait and see.
It's like, who wanna go get some space dome at the Space Tel?
Only make the world go round. And if the world ain't there no more, it's still gonna make something go around.
It's gonna make Mars go around.
Word. Nah, Mars will get destroyed too, bro. We'll be out like
We gotta go like
we gotta
Neptune.
Go, we gotta go next door to the next solar system.
Word. Earth 2. Like some badass DC universe stuff.
Oh God.
Well, what? I can't talk dirt talk. You can talk about Nathaniel Hawkins or whatever the hell you just said. This has been the greatest chaotic show ever. It fits so perfectly. It's just going down. Run for your lives.
Run, bitch, run! He's gonna kill you!
So with that said, we're gonna bring it up to a wrap.
No shit.
This is Dusty B. We coming at you. We'll be seeing you next week. We out.
Early.
Oh. That was chaotic. I love it.
Right.
This is our last podcast.
No shit with the Roach clips. It's the no shit with the Roach clips. Get your no shit from the Roaches. It's the no shit with the Roach clips. It's the no shit with the Roach clips. It's the no shit with the Roach clips. Get your no shit from the Roaches. It's